Hey guys, so we're getting close to the new year here, or we're already there, and you probably are thinking about your goals. What do you want to accomplish this upcoming year? And what I'm going to do in this video is give you a really quick, practical overview of how I've planned my goals and have accomplished them well ahead of schedule successfully that has led me to the point in my life where I've just done extremely well. My name is David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense, Medicare, and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. So let's jump right into it. How to goal set and use my experience on duplicating this in your own goals in your own business. First of all, the 80-20 rule. This is really important. This is kind of my operating principle on prospecting, on running my business. Essentially, and this is true of all things in life, 20% of what you do in your life is responsible for 80% of your results, okay? So the minority is going to give you the biggest outsized return. And if you're setting goals in life, you got to figure out what activity is essentially going to pay you the most per dollar, is kind of how I would translate this principle. You may look at this as in your life as, okay, I'm selling final expense. I sold 50,000 last year. I want to sell 100,000. Well, what's the best way to increase your income from 50 to 100,000? Is it increasing your closing rate from 20% to 35%? That's pretty difficult. Is it cross-selling insurance in addition to final expense, maybe like Medicare or annuities? Possibly, but it adds more complexity to the business. Whereas maybe what you should be doing is more of the number one producing activity responsible for most of your income, which is you being in front of prospects. Real simple conclusion that's not very, jaw, dropping and just amazing. It's just do more of what works and scale that. That's how I apply the 80-20 rule for insurance producers, is we focus on what activity makes them the most money, of course, which is selling insurance, and then outsourcing the rest. So kind of a way to look at this for a lot of producers out there, maybe a way to do this is to offshoot your appointment setting to a skilled professional so you can run more appointments and see more people and then scale your income up to your goal. Whereas trying to change everything, adding in complexity, may work, it could, but it also adds complexity and isn't as necessarily easily achievable. So 80-20 rule. Next thing is visualize. This is a big thing. You have to see yourself as being successful. One of the biggest problems people have when setting goals is they don't believe that they'll be successful. They just say it, but they don't have any conviction or belief. They don't see themselves as being successful. I think one of the things that I'm thankful for, that I guess in a sense had a privilege of having, is that my father was successful in life and business. My uncle, successful in business, a very important, well-known person. My grandfather was successful in business. And I felt like it was my duty to continue the progress of in my family. It's in the blood to be successful. It was a foregone conclusion that I was going to reach the heights of something in life, even though I didn't know what it was going to be for a really long time. But it was supposed to be that way. So I guess it's easier in a sense for me to say this because others kind of laid the groundwork for me. But there's plenty of examples of people where maybe if you don't have success in your life from your family, that still are successful. There's lots of opportunity out there of people who come from nothing and become great. So you have to visualize and see yourself as being successful. And you've got to repeat this process over and over again. I think it was cybernetics. I forget what it's called. Dan Kennedy used to talk about it. You have to have the theater of the mind. You have to see yourself doing something in that process of what is it like to make X amount of money? How's my life going to be? How's it going to be different? And you got to see yourself in that position to believe it. That helps facilitate this process of belief, which is critical. So visualize what success looks like and believe it, that it's possible, that it's something that you can embrace. Write, rewrite, and write again. Let me see if I've got it over here, guys. It's over there. I'll go grab it in a little bit. One of the biggest turning points in my business is I bought a book, like a spiral-bound notebook, where I wrote my goals in. And I would write them again and again and refine them, write them again, refine them throughout the year. I really started this in 2017, 2018. And it, in part, I think was hugely responsible for the facilitation of my business to where it is today at the end of 2020. And I still, to this day, write all my goals on paper, not using any, I don't know, either I'm a Luddite or it's just I think differently. But there's something about taking something and writing it down and making it real. It makes it physical and tangible. And then refining that process over and over again and reminding myself of what my goals are and what really matters. And ever since I've done that, I don't know if my thinking has changed, but me seeing my goals in front of me constantly, reworked and worked again, has had, I think, profound effects anecdotally. Again, I don't have the data to show you, but I think it made a big difference in making sure I keep focused on the goals that I've made out to set. Number 4, set an action plan with your goals. So this is what I do when I'm taking on a new project. I think, okay, I want to make, and just say in your case, 100,000 selling final expense net income. Well, how are you going to make that happen? Well, you need to think of an actual action plan of how many appointments you're going to set a week, how many leads you need to purchase, how many days during the week you're going to run appointments. And you need to get that on paper and then pinned up somewhere to look at over and over again, to rewrite it, refine it, etc. And what you'll find is this will become kind of emblazed on your brain, and you'll do a better job of running because you believe it, you've seen it, and you've embraced it. So, like I said, write the action side of it. It's good that you write your goals down, okay? It's even better if you put a path from A to Z to accomplish them. Again, I did that with my goals. It helps me get my projects going faster. It helps me build momentum. And I think it will help you stay in all the same ways fixed upon what you really want to accomplish. Number 5 here, check in regularly to assess and course correct. A goal failed isn't a failure. It's an inflection point. It's an opportunity to learn and improve. And you need to not just write goals down and forget about them. I used to do that earlier on in my career. But then when I started writing them down and reassessing them and reflecting, I grew tremendously because of it. So bottom line, 5 points here to improve your goal setting and achievement of goals is think about the 80-20 rule. Where is your time best spent on making the income that you want to earn? Visualize yourself as being successful. Be within the theater of the mind. See yourself successful. What does that feel like? What does that look like? What can you do in your life that you couldn't now? See it and you will believe it. Number 3, write, rewrite, and write again your goals. Not just once in January, but multiple times a week, multiple times a month. Do it again and again and again, and it will become part of you. Number 4, set your action plan to correspond with your goal plan, okay? A goal is a goal. It's just a far off place to get to. It can be kind of daunting. Put together the action plan to achieve it. Then number 5, course correct. Look at what you're doing. If there needs to be any improvement, then assess it at certain intervals, monthly, quarterly, to course correct to make sure you're staying on goal. Hope you enjoyed this training. Goal setting, it can be really complicated, it can be very simple. Again, this is just what works for me. It may or may not work for you, but it is simple, and it is something that has been proven to work, at least for me. Hope you enjoyed this video. David Duford at Duford Insurance Group logging off. Make sure you check out how my agency works above and below. If you're interested in joining, and do subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment if you have any questions. All right, bye.